Hello, this is Natalie with Pause and Paint. Are you one of these people that say, oh, I can't draw to save my life? Or I can't even draw a stick figure. I could never do a painting workshop. Let me show you how I'm going to prove you wrong today. You don't have to know how to draw to paint this painting behind me, because I'm providing you with a stencil that you'll be able to download and print. So we'll be painting our Dancing Queen painting today on a 9x12 canvas board. Let's have fun and be creative. So this is what you're going to need to paint today. So your paints are white, silver, bright red. I have gold, burnt sienna, yellow, and a cool blue. I have flat brush. It's 1-inch flat brush. I have a medium round brush, and I have a small detail brush with a point. These have long handles, so they're really great to have more stability when you paint. So these are the more affordable brushes. You have a 1-inch flat brush. You have a medium round brush with a small brush with a point, and a mini one, very small one for details like the eyes and lips. So this is your stencil that you printed. You're going to need just your regular beige tape to keep it in place. I'm going to trace with just a red pen. And you have a piece of tracing paper. Don't forget your cup of water and paper towels and a spray bottle. So today we're painting on a canvas board. To see all the painting materials that I'm using today, just look at the description below. So to trace our Dancing Queen, just going to lift our stencil and put your tracing paper the dark side facing your canvas and just slide it underneath like this. So you want to make sure your stencil doesn't move while you're tracing. So press like medium hard to make sure you have a nice outline on your canvas, and yeah, just go over every single outlines of your stencil. And before you remove it, make sure you lift without removing it, just to make sure that you have all your lines and you're not missing anything. Okay, so you can lift your stencil and see that all the guidelines are there, and we're ready to paint. The first color we're going to mix for the background is going to be a blue-green mixed with white, so it's a very kind of light aqua blue-green. So we have the yellow, blue that we're going to mix and add some white. Take your large brush, bring some white in the middle. Now you're going to take the corner of your brush and just dab it in the blue. We want just a little bit of paint. Mix that with your white. So we have a light blue at this point. And we're going to pick up just a tiny bit of yellow, again just the corner of your brush, and bring it in the light blue so that we have more of a warm blue-green, but very light, so we use a lot of white. Now you're going to bring a few drops of water, so just dip your brush in the water and bring a little bit of water, about 3-4 drops. So you load your brush both sides, and what we're going to do is cover the entire canvas so that we create our background. Because we have water in our acrylic and it's a light color, you'll be able to go across and paint over the guidelines because you can see your guideline through your first coat. So just apply your paint with brush strokes going up and down. So we're just adding a tiny bit of the blue paint to make a darker blue and just kind of go across again, creating streaks. Sometimes you don't want streaks in your painting, but this for this particular painting, that's what we want. So see how we're creating those little streaks. Maybe add them more on the side. So now our second color is going to be to frame our canvas, and we're going to create a lilac. So we're going to use what we have in the middle here, what we used for the background. You don't have to rinse your brush. You're going to pick up just a tiny bit of bright red on the corner of your brush and add it to the blue. We'll add a little bit more in the other corner just to make it a little bit more of a kind of a light pink lilac color. Okay, I kind of like this. We just want to add some of the pink color on the side. Just go quickly so that it creates your brush strokes on the side like this, kind of framing, and on the other side. So now remove some of your paint, and you're going to be working with almost a dry brush, and just go over it lightly. I might go across a little bit from the bottom across, but I'm going to leave the top alone. A little bit more red on the tip of my brush. Remove the excess. I'm just creating those little streaks. Adding it to the tip of my brush, a little bit of red. And go over it until it's nice and smooth. Remove the excess again and just make sure everything is nice and smooth. Now I want to add some blue, little blue streaks. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue on the tip of my brush and blend it with the lighter color. I don't want it too dark, so lighten it up like this. Remove excess of paint and just go over the lilac color. Here we go. And it doesn't have to be symmetrical. I'm kind of happy with how this looks, so I'm going to leave it alone for now. Now we're going to add some gold. Take a paper towel and make a little ball. Dab it in water and remove the excess so it doesn't drip. Pick up your gold color. Kind of dab into it like this. So we're adding our gold with tapping motion like this on the other side. I also want to do some at the bottom. Now with your medium round brush, grab some of that gold again on the tip, not too much paint. We just want to add a little bit of gold to the background. Reload your brush just a little bit, and you can kind of give it some swirly motion. Not too many. I just did 1, 2, a longer one here, 3, 4, maybe a little one right here. Take your spray bottle and let's do a few drips. We're gonna let this dry and come back for our outline, and maybe we'll go over these little patches with the background color. I use the blow dryer to speed the process, and you can still see the guidelines very well. Now you see those little patches with the water that kind of went a little bit deeper here. I'm just going to use my large brush and wet the background paint, and I'm just going to do a few brush strokes, and it covers it up perfectly. So now we're going to do the outlining of our dancing queen. I'm using my small detail brush. I'm going to wet the tip of my brush a little bit, and we're going to create a darker blue. So just grab a little bit of burnt sienna, add it to your blue. Add a little bit of water, not too much. Just dip your brush lightly and add a little bit of water. A little bit more burnt sienna. I want it a little darker. When you paint your outlines, you always want to keep your brush nice and pointy. So remove the excess paint with a paper towel so that you keep your paintbrush nice and clean. So now you want to do all the outlines of her veil, the dress, the tambourine, but we're going to wait to do the face. We're not going to touch the face yet because we're going to use a smaller brush. As I do my outlines, you can see how, if I come closer, I just want you to see how we see the grain of the canvas. I love that. I want to keep that. If you want more of an opaque look to your guidelines, you just dip your brush and go over your guidelines a second time. I'm comfortable with going quickly. Maybe you're not so comfortable yet, so maybe you want to do little brush strokes. Just kind of take your time like this. Okay, so you might want to do that instead of going fast. I just want you to be comfortable and work with the technique that works best for you. When your painting is dry, you can lean your pinky to have a little bit more stability, a little bit more control. I bring some paint on my paper towel so I can just dip back into it and keep it nice and clean at the tip. I'm going to switch my brush. I'm using my smaller brush, same color. I'm going to do the outline of the face. the neckline. I put a little bit too much paint here, but I'm going to fix that with a little bit of white, because at the end I always add some white highlights, and we're going to fix that, no problem. Let's do the eyes. Just want to go over all your guidelines with a small brush. Make sure there's no clump at the end of your brush. Let's do the nose line. She has a piece of hair going down. Now we're going to do the little details, the little beads here, so I just press down to make the little diamond shapes. Just take your time and make sure you have all her face details. We have little hearts going down here and a few up here. So with the same brush, we're going to do the little detailings on her dress. So we're going to do the hearts going down the bottom of her dress. I just press down to the heart. Just see this, press down with the brush. They almost look like little butterflies. Load your brush again, and let's do a few here. We're going to do the detail, little pearls here. Load your brush. Just press down. Now I'm going to show you how to create this skin tone right here. So what you do is you grab some yellow. You want to create a medium orange. So take a tiny bit of red and bring it into your yellow. So we have a medium orange. Now you take some of that medium orange, not too much, and bring it into some white. We want it this dark, so add a little bit. It's better to add a little bit of medium orange to white than to bring white into this orange, because then we'd have too much paint. So for the flesh tone, we don't want to cover the entire face. So I just put a little bit of flesh tone on half of her face and the neck. I'm going to add a second coat. I keep very little paint on my paintbrush. I don't want too much. And I very carefully apply it to one side of her face. I like that because the two-tone of the face is something I do in a lot of my paintings. And I really like that. So let's do our second coat on the neck and cover all the area. Now for the arms, I'm going to do a little bit of the same treatment here. I don't want to have the skin tone to cover the entire arms. So I just grab some paint and I'm going to put the skin tone on one half. The hand, I can do the entire hand. It's almost like a shadow. Same thing on the other side, but I'll apply the paint on the inside, leaving half of it blue. Okay, let's grab some gold with your small brush with the long handle. Just gonna do the tambourine. I'm applying the paint, the gold paint, by kind of dabbing like this. The gold has a little bit of transparency, so I just want to put more paint so it has a little bit more of an opaque look to it. I might come back for a second coat. I'm not sure yet. I kind of like the way this looks. Just dabbing your paintbrush like this. I love texture. Let's do the same thing for the bracelet. Just adding little dots of paint. Now we're going to do the earrings. She actually has one earring. Just dab and just do some dots. Add more paint. This is where you want more paint on your paintbrush so that you create the almost little gold nuggets. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to add some silver to the cymbals and the tambourine. And we're doing the same thing, just kind of dabbing. I'm back to my smaller brush and my darker blue to do my ribbons. For me, it's easier to go fast, but as I was saying earlier, you might want to do little brush strokes if you're not comfortable with going too fast. Now I want to add some red to my ribbons. So I'm grabbing a little bit of the bright red, loading your small brush. And I'm just going to go over the brush stroke, not entirely, just in little areas. Let's grab a little bit of white, create a lighter pink, add a little bit inside. Same brush, let's grab some yellow. I want some yellow highlights. We'll start at the top of her veil right here. I just want to put little touches right here. Other side, a little bit on the sleeve, the veil, in the ribbon. So I just put some yellow inside the ribbon. I like to brighten it up. I'll continue with some yellow touches. Shoulder, a little bit here inside the dress. Bottom of the veil. A little bit here and there. It's up to you if you want to put more. I'm kind of happy with the way it looks now. Now we're going to do the same thing with some white. Add some white to your clean brush. And I want to go kind of over the same areas that I put the yellow, but with white. So we can see the dress kind of emerging from the background. I want to do some white in the sleeves, kind of going over the flesh tone. This kind of gives the illusion of transparency of the sleeves. It's very pretty. Now I want to go outside of her dress and create some motion. So she's dancing, so to give the illusion of motion, I'm just doing some swirly brush strokes. The ribbons are moving. Here we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing but with gold. I'm grabbing a little bit of white to fix where I put too much of the blue right here. So just a little bit of white to highlight her chin. And now I'm going to put a little bit of red in her lips. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of red and grab a little bit of flesh tone and white to create a lip color that's not too bright. I like this. So you don't need much at all. Just kind of dab a little bit of the light pink. That was so little, but I like that. I don't want to have lips that are going to pop too much. I like this pink color and I want to add a little bit to her dress. Just a few touches here and there next to the yellow. A little bit on her veil right here. Tiny, tiny amount. And voila, you have your dancing queen. She's very little, so I think she would look great in a kid's room or on a smaller wall in your bedroom. So we're just gonna sign our artwork and say goodbye. Please comment below, and I really hope to see you again in my next video. Until then, stay creative. Bye for now.